Welcome everyone to Hospital Institutional Pharmacy. I'm not able to be there with you today, so I'm going to do the screencast and hopefully cover all the information that I would do if I was there live and in person. So just down the side, of course, typically you would see course content here. I've just changed it to match the title of our course. This is what you will see upon entering the course for the first time. You don't have to worry too much about technical details. I'm sure you've seen those over and over and over again. So we'll get down to the course outline, schedule, readings, etc. That's where we'll start. So in this first tab, you just see a brief description of what we're going to be up to. Of course, we have a lab component as well as a lecture component. When we're in lab, you may be working as an individual, paired with a partner, or in groups. And those groups will be assigned, they'll be posted to Blackboard, so on and so forth. But I will keep you in the loop about those sorts of things as they approach. So I myself, of course, am an instructor. You will see Michelle and Ava, and it just depends on which section you're in the afternoon as to who my partner in crime will be. And we'll go into assigned readings. So you will see that there are, unfortunately, some textbook readings for Friday's class. Chapter 9 in the Ballington textbook, and then Chapter 26 in the Money textbook. There's a lot of information in there. Certainly not all of it will pertain to us in the very beginning, but it made sense to me just to assign the whole chapter, and as we get chipping away at the course, we can go back and focus a little bit more when there's specific information and pages in there that we need to talk about. So if you can have those read for Friday, that would be great. There's a class schedule. So this schedule is tentative and it is subject to change. The reason for that is it's very dependent on what information we get covered in lecture class. So if we don't get enough material covered in lecture class, then we'll have to shift a little bit as to what we cover when it comes to lab. It should follow pretty closely, but again, if it does shift, then that would be why. I'll try to do a little bit of color coordinating here, so you'll see the assignments. I just need to roll back up. It's not functioning quite the way I want it to. There we go. So again, a little bit of color coordinating. I've tried to put the written exams in yellow. There's a midterm exam, a written final, then there's a final lab activity. Color coordinated the assignments. There are 4 of those. Each one of those are going to be worth 5% of your final mark. I can't provide you too much information about what those assignments are. I added one from last year, then I'm making some adjustments to what was delivered last year. But as we get closer, we'll talk about those in more detail. I do have some tentative dates. We do have a tentative date for February 26th to do a tour of our regional hospital here. Again, this is very tentative. I have 3 groups assigned, but we will do what works best for the site and the department so that it can, and the tour facilitator as well. So that date and those groups may change, but it is in the plan for sure. You'll see on March 12th, there's the simulation activity. That will happen in our nursing simulation lab. And what else have I got up here? We do have a hospital technician. She will come over and do an in-service for us about medication reconciliation. Again, that date is tentative as well. So again, when we have these outside forces trying to coordinate what works best for them and for us, then the schedule certainly can change. And then I am kind of trying to work on another facility tour as well, but we'll see how that one pans out. And again, I'll keep you posted about that when it comes to light. So again, there's the schedule. You'll want to reference that often. The course outline. Of course, we're all familiar with the course outline. Standard information. So again, you'll see that it's myself, Ava, and Michelle that will be the lab instructors. They're the lab times, so lecture times are Wednesdays and Fridays from 1 until 1:50. Lab times, again, it depends on which lab section you're in, will determine which lab time you're at. Calendar entry, learning outcomes, pretty standard information. Course topics are listed here. So these course topics, we may discuss them in lab, discuss them in lecture class and do them practically in lab. And some of them just will be discussion only. It just depends on what we can get coordinated and what will fit itself within our simulation space. Let's see, guest speakers, note-taking, assignments. Again, pretty standard information. The note, time permits. We're working on some tours and whatnot. So hopefully those all come to light and look out the way we would like them to. Required textbooks, of course, Valentin and Moni, you've had those from previous courses before. The new one will be the Lisa McCartney sterile compounding and aseptic technique. We only use that one just a very little bit for this class. There's a little alert for you. Primarily, you will use the Lisa McCartney text when it comes to 210, but there are some information in it. Is some information in it that we'll use. Some websites that we'll look at and pop around to pretty often when it comes to the assessment of your performance. Of course, the bulk of your grade will come from the lab activities. The assignments, I mentioned that there are 4 of them. The dates are on the schedule, but again, subject to change. Examinations, 2 writtens, 1 midterm and 1 final. Self-assessment lends itself to self-reflections, which you're all very familiar with. And then professional assessment is just assessing how you behave and perform within the lab setting. Again, standard information when it comes to the assignment deadlines. So midterm feedback, you'll have that grade by March 2nd, or sooner. What else have we got here? Attendance requirements. So when it comes to lab, again, standard information that you're used to when it comes to lab. If for any reason you can't attend lab, you have to let us know. I know that life happens, but just let us know and we'll do what we can, and we'll work up a learning plan agreement and make sure that all gets tended to. So the important dates, again, information is posted there about dates, so on and so forth. What else is there? I think that is it for the course outline. You'll find the learning plan agreement is posted here as well. So you'll want to reference back to this pretty often. Go back to the main tab. So we have the lecture tab or module, and within here, so what I will try to do for each class, there'll be a main header that says week 1, week 2, so on and so forth, and then I will try to break it down a bit more specific into each class. And I will have a lesson plan for each class that should look like this, and that should be the same. What it is that we're going to be talking about. So in this case, of course, introduction, but it might be unit 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. Prerequisites, if there was anything that you needed to prepare prior to class, that would be listed here. What we hope to accomplish with our learning outcomes, course outline, and I will try to be a bit more specific as far as timelines when it comes to the class outline. It's a little vague today just because I'm not physically there present with you. So the material equipment, those typically are for my use. And then if there are assignments, readings, those will be listed here for you. So what I would like you to complete before Friday's class is there'll be a Google Form document. It is posted, the link is posted directly to Blackboard, but you can click here and get to that link as well. The chapter readings, Chapter 9 from Ballington and Chapter 26 from Moni. And if you don't have these links already, or pardon me, these apps. If you don't have them already, please get them and just make sure that they're on your device. We'll use them in different capacities. Of course, the Blackboard Learn is more for your use than mine. And at the bottom of this lesson plan is just the learning outcomes that we need to get through before the course itself is done. One other thing that I didn't get onto this particular lesson plan that I would like you to take a peek at, and you'll find it here under lecture. So the course outline, Google form link there. It's a very short little survey. I'll just click on that so that you can see what that looks like. Just a couple of questions just so I can get a feel for where you guys are at. So that's there. You may have to log in to access that. Mine went in pretty easy because I think I had been into it before, so that's why I didn't have to log in. The other thing I'd like you to just take a peek at, it just says flow of patient orders. So just take a look at this, and this really describes kind of what happens when it comes to getting patients their prescriptions. It's very different if you've worked in a community pharmacy. The process and the flow for getting patients their medications within a hospital setting is quite a bit different. There's a lot more moving parts, lots of policies, procedures, stages and steps that things have to go through in order for it to get to the patient. From this point where the physician prescribes the medication all the way down to when it actually gets administered to the patient. So just take a peek at that. Just kind of familiarize yourself with that because, again, like I said, if you've had any community pharmacy experience, it's a little bit different when it comes to hospital pharmacy. I'm just going to go back to the main tab here. And again, just mention that you'll find any information that relates to lecture classes will be within this tab, and I'll try to break it down per week and then further to per class. And then when it comes to lab information, of course, you won't find anything there yet. I haven't posted anything. So that information will be there as well. One other thing that I wanted to mention, and I don't have it, actually, let's see if it's here. I don't think it's listed on the course outline. Dress code, something that I just wanted to mention. So the dress code when it comes to 215 will be very similar to what it was in 235. Professional attire, you must be wearing your name tag. You certainly can wear scrubs if that's appropriate for you. You don't have to, but your name tag has to be on. So similar to the dress code that we were following in 235. Again, sorry I couldn't be there with you today, but I will see you on Friday's class. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, anything you need to talk to me about, just drop me an email. That's the quickest way to reach me. So see you later. Have a good rest of the day.